The Las Vegas Gamblers and the Phoenix Scorpions. That's a really cool matchup between two great names. In the first quarter, we pick things up with a big catch from the Hall of Famer. That is Tim Brown, and that leads to a Marion Butts touchdown run. We'll hear of his name later in the football game. And running downfield is Butts yet again for the Phoenix Scorpions. So they would take an early 10-0 lead. Martin Anderson hits his first of 3 field goals in the football game. Meanwhile, for the Las Vegas Gamblers, led by quarterback Chris Miller, they don't necessarily have too many great and very notable names on their roster, but they would offensively play very well and manage a pretty impressive comeback here against Phoenix. Into the second quarter now. Deep ball to Ricky Sanders. His only catch of the football game is a 59-yard grab. It leads to a Mike Rozier touchdown. He would have 2 more on the ground in this football game today. Meanwhile, Steve Bono, who is a full-time starter in the league once, that was in a Pro Bowl year, 1995. He finds his man for the go-ahead touchdown, does Brown. That is Steve Bono's first touchdown of the season, his only one of the football game today, which would put him in front 20-10. Diving catch from the hill leads to another Rozier touchdown, 2 of 3, as mentioned in today's game. And for these two quarterbacks, Chris Miller and Steve Bono, we would see some great plays and some great mistakes. Here's a great play for Keith Jackson. Butts finds the end zone yet again. He would have 4 touchdowns on the day. But really, with the two quarterbacks playing well, this was a big momentum swing of the football game as Desmond Howard goes down with an injury. And with the score within just 2, it was a great opportunity for the Vegas Gamblers to go for it all, and led by their quarterback, Chris Miller, they would certainly test the deep secondary of Phoenix. A couple of big catches from fullback Cleveland Gary leads to the third touchdown for Mike Rozier. He had 19 carries for 78 yards and the 3 scores. Onside kick recovered by Phoenix, and the Scorpions win the game by 20. Some late scoring in that fourth quarter. 44-24 Phoenix.
Now for the Atlanta Fire at the LA Stars. We start out with Phil Simms. Close to midfield, he'd stand in the pocket and he'd throw a rainbow pass to Henry Ellard. He would rocket catch it and no one would catch him. It's 7-0 for the Stars. Later on, Boomer Esiason would play action fake it and he would throw the ball to Steve Broussard. A few plays later, Esiason would run out of the pocket as he would throw the ball intended for Page, and it's intercepted by Neon Dion. Esiason would run out of the pocket and he would throw it to Vance Johnson over the middle. Esiason would then give it over the middle to Clarence Kay as he would make it into Stars territory and James Brooks would bum it in for the touchdown. And now the Stars have a turn. They give it to Bobby Humphrey as he makes it close to midfield. And Phil Simms in Fire territory would wait in the pocket and he would throw an interception to David Fulcher in the flats. You can't have that. Boomer Esiason would take command and control. He would stand in the pocket and he would throw it deep to Vance Johnson in the red zone, and then James Brooks would whoop around and make it into the end zone for a 7-point lead. Phil Simms needs to get something started. He throws it deep down the left side. The rainbow catch by Henry Ellard, and nobody would catch him today as the Stars would tie the game up. Phil Simms, he gets the ball back for the Stars, and he would throw yet another flats interception to David Fulcher, but the field goal by Matt Baer would be no good, so that was all for naught. Phil Simms standing in the pocket again, throwing it deep down the field to diving Keith Byers. Mike Pitts and Carl Wilson would sack Phil Simms, and this would lead to a missed David Treadwell field goal, so those sacks really hurt the Stars. James Brooks, he would run out to the left side, getting it into Stars territory, and then he'd get it again as he would whoop and whoop as James Brooks gets around the Stars offense and he runs it in for a touchdown. In the fourth quarter, down 7, Phil Simms waits in the pocket, no rush. He throws a rainbow pass to Michael Irvin, and the Hall of Famer with an 88-yard touchdown won't be caught today as the Stars tie the game up. Late in the fourth quarter, Boomer Esiason, he waits in the pocket, he throws it down the right side, and it's intercepted by Mark Kelso in Stars territory, so going down the field was all for naught. But his counterpart, Phil Simms, is getting ready to lead a game-winning drive as he gives it to Henry Ellard, and David Treadwell, He's got a game-winning kick. Can he make it? He does, as the LA Stars beat the Atlanta Fire 24-21 in a close game here in Week 1 in the late slot of the BTFL Season 2.
Seattle Storm and the Birmingham Rebels. Let's go. Birmingham starting the game with the ball. Jim Kelly under center, feeling pressure, trying to escape down the left side. He is sacked by Seth Joyner and will come up slowly. Jim Kelly will not return to this game as he is replaced by his backup for Saad, and we'll see how he's able to replace the gunslinger for Birmingham. His first pass is completed to Andre Reed down the middle. That'll get all the way down to the 20-yard line or so, and he decided that play worked so well, he's going to hit Reed again, this time over the middle for a touchdown. Birmingham gets the early lead, 7-0. Randall Cunningham for the Seattle Storm takes up down the left side, making a few guys look silly as he gets right past midfield. On the next play, he said, that worked so well the first time, I'm just going to keep it again. As he saw he had multiple people open, still decided to keep the ball himself, and he can't argue with the results. Another big run for Randall Cunningham. White down the sideline, making it down to the 1-yard line on that run. He is injured and also is replaced for the rest of this game. Randall Cunningham on the next play in the red zone just takes it up the middle. It's been working so far, why not? Touchdown for the Storm, tied at 7. Randall Cunningham taking off and dunks it over the middle to Eric Green, 14-7 for Seattle. Cunningham feeling it now, looking deep, finds his man Stephen Baker down the sideline. Stephen Baker, the touchdown maker, gets into the end zone, 21-7 for Seattle. Birmingham trying to stop the bleeding here, hands it off to Thurman Thomas, gets a nice first down run to right around midfield for Birmingham. They're going to hand it off one more time. He gets all the way down to just about the 19-yard line. Unfortunately, Birmingham has to settle for a field goal, keeping the score at a reasonable 21-10. Cunningham looking, going down the left sideline. He hasn't been stopped on the ground yet. Why would they start now into the end zone for Seattle? They would run away with this one, 35-13.
This would be a backup quarterback bowl. The Boise Colts and New Orleans Tigers. Frank Reich, the comeback kid, would stand in the pocket. He'd throw it down the right side to Derek Russell, and then he'd follow that up with throwing it down the left side to Anthony Miller, the jumping catch. He would get tackled at around the 1-yard line, and then Emmitt Smith would vulture off the touchdown, the Hall of Famer. Flip to the right side, the Hall of Famer Emmitt Smith, as he's getting by defenders, getting it into Colts territory, and then Frank Reich, he goes back, he throws it to Derek Russell, diving catch, and then Frank Reich in the red zone, throws it down the left side to Vardell. Tommy Vardell has the touchdown. It's 14-0, first touchdown by Frank Reich this season. But we can't forget about the Hall of Famer Emmitt Smith as he goes, get off me, as he makes it into Colts territory. And this would lead to a miss Aldo Greco field goal, so it's all for naught. Jeff Hostetler goes back. He throws it down the left side to Webster Slaughter. Sergeant Slaughter jumps up and makes the catch as he makes it to the 25-yard line. And this would lead to a missed Dean Biasucci field goal. Emmitt Smith would say, you know what, I got to get back to what I started, making it into Colts territory, and then he'd get it again. Get off me, Emmitt Smith says as he makes it into the red zone of the Colts, and this would lead to a made Aldel Greco field goal. It's 17-0. Jeff Hostetler needs to get something started, but he throws an interception to Marcus Robertson, making it into Colts territory, and then Emmitt Smith capitalizes off of this, running it down the left side, making it into the red zone. And he says, hey, comeback kid, Frank Reich, give it to Anthony Miller for the touchdown, 24-0 game. Jeff Hostetler makes it into the territory of the Tigers, throws it to Herman Moore in the end zone. Diving catch, it's 24-7. But the game ended 34-24 in the backup quarterback bowl, and this time the comeback kid came out as the winner.